Education before work experience. Dates, months, or just years for the time ranges. I don't know. Should I include hobbies? Sports maybe? What about my home address? Home address, that should be important. Age? Do they want to know my age? Do I need to put it in? What points should I highlight in the bullets that I'm going to mention? Picture? Should I put a picture or not? CV or resume is a core part of our professional personal brand. Together with your LinkedIn profile and cover letter or email, you have a package that you would like to deliver to the world while in search for professional advancement opportunities. In this workshop style video, I'm going to take you through the steps of building your professional CV and saving you a ton of time. Hi, it's Lassi Albin. Welcome to my channel where I share weekly tips and advice on how you can accelerate your career. I'm a senior certified coach with industry background, and I have had the opportunity to career coach hundreds of talented professionals just like yourself. I invite you to subscribe to my channel below and hit the notification button to ensure that you don't miss any of the weekly tips coming your way. Now, although there are no hard rules on how the CV should be structured, as engineers, we'll have very different looking layouts than graphic designers or coders, and they should have different layouts and looks. However, there are some best practices that you can use to speed up your CV crafting and ensuring that all the relevant data is clearly accessible. Most of the time and most of the frustration is coming from not having the clear structure on how to plug in your things, and we're going to solve that issue right now. Let's get down to business and build your CV that will catch attention. Okay, so welcome to this CV workshop where I try to do my best to share how I see that a CV could be built. It's not the way it should be built, but how I would build and how I build my CVs and advise my clients. So really some tips and practical advice on how you can start building your CV. So let's move on. Purpose of a CV. Two purposes. One, to get you to the job interview. That's it, the most important thing, to get you in the door. And two, to function as a document that circulates inside the company when they are going through the interview process with you. Most important thing is to get in through the door. Once you're in the interview process, then it's basically a summary document, and then it's up to you to do the charm and get the position. Rules, really no rules in CV building. Best practices, things that work, yes. Rules, not really. I would recommend to build a CV to look like you, to represent you, so that when I talk to you or anybody talks to you, it feels like you and it connects with you as well. But that's it. That's enough of the intro. Let's move on. Before we start building and crafting the CV, I'm going to introduce you to the STAR method. For those who have heard about it, you can just grab a cup of tea or coffee. Meanwhile, I'll just briefly explain what is the STAR method. STAR method is normally used in interviews many times. For example, Amazon famously uses STAR method. They even train you, give you guidance documents on how to prepare for the STAR method before the interviews. Also can be very effectively used in CV building, and I like to use it, and I'll show you how in just a moment. But let's say in an interview situation, STAR would stand for S as situation. So this is the whole STAR method, is how you would describe an answer. And we will take bits and pieces of that and put them into your bullet points in your CV. So S stands for situation. Situation where you're in. Imagine an interview question that goes something like, describe a situation or a project where you faced challenges and you had to overcome them. How did you do it, and what was the end result? Now that answer needs to be in a STAR model. Situation where you were in. T stands for task. What had to be done to overcome the situation? Actions is A. What actions did you took to complete the tasks? And R stands for results. What did you achieve in numbers? Did you increase the sales? Did you reduce complexity? Did you increase efficiency? What happened? Did you enable scaling? What took place? So now when we move to the CV building, it doesn't frequently follow this particular order. We start with the action verbs, and so we will be taking these 2 points. We start with the actions, and then we follow up with the tasks, and then we highlight the results. So it's a bit of a ATR, and sometimes you describe the situation, for example, if it's a turnaround or if it's a company was purchased and you had to do something there, then you could describe the situation as well. Here's an example version. I know it's Word. I'm gonna quickly jump into Canva in a while because that's my chosen tool, and I prefer to show the example there. This is a Word example of a template that I use with MBA students. It's very typical in business schools. I've done my own version of it, and also if you like to use this kind of Word format, plenty of people still want to use Word format, and that's fine. I use Canva. I haven't used Word for 3 years, 4 years for myself. If you want to use it, feel free. I'll put a link in the description so you can download this template and the second page as well. These are one-pagers, very summarized versions of a CV. I'll be using a Canva example with the same details. I just converted them into Canva so you can see the difference. But I'll give you this template in case you want to work on Word. The difference being here, one example, if you're currently doing a study, or if you have less than, I would say, 5 years of experience, then put education first, right? If you have more than 5 years of experience, then your work experience matters more. Flip them around. Work experience first, education second, and then the rest. But let's move on to the example. So here's a Canva template for a CV. This is one template, one draft, one which has been modified, as you know, and I already had a video on the how to create a CV on Canva, a brief one. I'll link it up to the description as well. We saw that there's plenty of different templates that you can use in Canva. Very simple. If you are less experienced at the moment, let's say straight out of school, less than 5 years, you can use directly these formats. If you have more experience, you need to modify, as they normally have one page. So you need to add pages so you can actually fit more experiences. And what I normally do is I pick one and then I start modifying from there. Why do I like Canva more than Word? I like the visual. I think the future is going to be visual. It's going to be more expressive to tell your story and to convey your personal brand. To me, Word doesn't do that very well anymore. So here we go. Let's start. So here is a one-pager. I made a one-pager, and then I also added a second page just to show you that you can add pages as many as you want and extend it. So let's go now deeper. I'm going to show you what I've included in this particular example as what I see as best practices for myself. Let's start the visual part. So here, for example, you would have the header part in Canva. You don't have to have this, but I like to have it as a visual. For example, here I portray Mr. Lada Kuzma as a tech advisor for startups. Now, I put a wallpaper here, background, where I represent tech. I wanted to create some freshness and energy into this, and that I'm part of this tech community as a professional. Put my picture. What type of picture you can, this is modified in Canva as well, so you can modify pictures in Canva. I picked this one because this is how I would be entering in a startup premises as a advisor. So the picture needs to represent the environment where you're going to be working in the future. If it's a startup, you're not going to put a tie. If you're going to be working in a bank, you're not going to be putting a polo shirt. Make sure the backgrounds are nice, they fit with the rest, they go nicely there. My recommendation would be, if it's not a big smile, at least have a small smile, you know. Very often I get clients who are super serious in their photos. I read their profiles and then I meet them by video, and they're completely different people. They're high energy, they're positive, they're funny, they're everything that their profiles in social media or CVs is not. So make sure that through you comes visible. I hope that's me, but you know, I for those who you know me, hopefully that's the true picture of me. Have the same. You can put layouts in the back here, and then name, and then here optionally you can put who are you, what are you looking for. You can be a supply chain leader, you can be a artistic designer if you want to highlight that here. So that's the top part. Make it visible, because when I come into this CV, I wanna let's see if I would download this one. Just to show you how it looks like when I would download it into a CV in a PDF, it will come out like this. And when I open this one from an email as an attachment, this strikes attention in me. Smile, tech, colors, interesting, and then straight to the profile. It needs to have a hook. That's the whole purpose of this visual part. Good. What else is needed in the CV? Let me cover these side ones here, and then we dive into the actual bullet points and how you craft that part. Again, how you define and design this one is really up to you. For me, the important is how do you structure the bullet points? How do you structure your experience that it's clearly and professionally visible and explained, following the concepts of the star. But then again, what colors, what layouts, all this, up to you. I like to put a profile or kind of an executive summary or profile. It's very short here, but I put in seasoned tech sector and startup expert with top banking and consulting experience from London, Singapore, and Berlin. So I picked up a little thing here, and I'm a tech advisor for startups. You get a feeling what I do. I like profile. It can be a bit longer if you want. Here it's brief because I have a large font. Again, don't go to font 6 or 8. I've seen books which have been kind of compressed into one page. Don't go that way. Education. If you have more experience, you can minimize or reduce the experience to here. If you have 20 years of experience, don't put education here in the front, even if you have an MBA from Wharton. Put education here. No need, once you advance in your career, no need to put the grades and the specializations, and nobody really cares if you studied strategy 15 years ago. It's this that matters in that case. So put the years, put the study degree, highlight that, and that's it. Certificates. I decided to put the block of certificates here. Very important nowadays because people should and are doing continuous education all the times. Like I always recommend, always have an online program open, no matter what your age or seniority, learn. This can be digital marketing courses, Google's Garage, whatever it is, certificates, diplomas, however you want to call it, or further education. I put it here, then I put languages. You can either put Finnish native, English fluent, Spanish intermediate, or you can put points like this. The good thing with Canva is you can take these templates and you can copy from different templates. You can have multiple tabs open, so multiple Canva open, and you can copy paste like in PowerPoint and bring in different components and change colors and really build your own story. And then contact information. I put it here. I see it many times up in the front here, but I don't think that really makes sense to have it there. If people want to contact you, as long as it's on the page, first page, they'll find you. LinkedIn, you can put a hyperlink, phone number, email, and location. Location, like in some countries, you don't put location address at all. I like to put in town or city and country. Why is that? It's because if a recruiter doesn't know where you are, then if they can't figure out right away where's your permit, then definitely you're going to be excluded in that process, at least with me, if I was headhunting. Barcelona, Spain is enough. They don't need to know the street address where I live. It's enough if they have that location. So that's it. You decide these ones. These are what I prefer and what I like. I'm going to show you the second page, so you can actually just add a second page. If you have more experience, let's say if you have less than 5 years of experience, I would say you can fit it into one page like this. If you got more, expand it. Make another page, maybe a little header like this to keep it fresh. And then use the left side for different things. I've given some examples. Put the coding languages and levels. Put interests, if you in karate, European champion, if you do voluntary work, if you do other things that you find valuable for the CV, put them here. And other. This is up to you. You can even put, for example, in my CV, I have a recommendation, one testimonial from my previous manager. I put it here. Don't include references, reference people yet. I see that a lot in CVs. Don't include that because you don't want anybody in the early stages of the process calling your ex-managers and different testimonials, references. They don't want to be surprised, and you also want to say references available once we get to the advanced stages of the process. And once you get there and they ask for it, then you say, what type of references would you like to have? Okay, I'm going to create a list, and then you inform your references beforehand so they know what to expect. A lot of stories where references get calls from companies who are interviewing, and it doesn't go right many times because you don't want to surprise people. I respect as well, professionalism. Good. So now that you have this left side done, or whatever components you want to include here, then we enter into the work experience. I've included here 3 positions, 4 bullet points each. I would not recommend putting 10 bullet points. I see those as well. We go font 8, and then we can't really read anything, but we have 10 bullet points packed with stuff. Remember the purpose of the CV? Get into the interview. How do you get into the interview? By having a page that feels that 10-second rule. If I come here in 10 seconds, I can know enough about Mr. Lara, and I can definitely make a decision whether I want to have a further look at this profile. So how to build the bullet points? First of all, I like to put company name, city, and the country. If it's Singapore, I don't need to put anything else, I just put Singapore. Title, which sector, title, which sector, and then the month and the year of the role, how much I served there. I wouldn't put 15th of October 2017 to something too much detail. Slows the reading and I don't know, makes it blurry and not good. This is enough. So as you can see, this is clear, it's easy to read, and this repeatedly in the same way, in the same font. You can build one of these like this. I build a block, build one, and then just copy it and do whatever you need to do with that. Make sure it looks the same. So now the bullet points. How do you fix a bullet point? Again, we had the star model. So to make it easy for you, start with an action verb. Like here, led, analyzed, developed, participated. And before you get into this process, I like to use post-its. I like to go, okay, I was an associate, corporate banking, and then I go into post-its. I have a big pile of post-it notes and I start slamming them on the wall, thinking, what were the important things that I did in this position? What were all the whatever comes into my mind, maybe there's 10 things that I did in that position that I was proud of, that gave great results, and that fit the requirements of the future position that I'm thinking of. What are they looking for? I write them down on a post-it. What did I do? What was the result? And what was my role? And I slam them on the wall, and then I basically go through them and say, what are the 4 or 5 or 3 most important ones that relate to the future positions that I want to do, that have quantifiable results, and that make my CV look professional. So here I might have had 10 different things that I did. Like I saw, I worked on 12 assignments. I brought 4 bullet points from those post-its. And only then do I start writing. How do I start writing? I go to one of the lists of action verbs. I put these links for you as well. Here. These guys nicely group them. So if you increased something positive, these are the action verbs that you can use. You reduced something negative. Remember we talked about increasing the upside and reducing or creating productivity, effectiveness, something. Communications, manage projects or people. You took initiative, you led people, you organized something. You can see you have plenty of options here to support your post-its. Your post-it might even have the action verb already on it to make it easier. There's another action verb list if you prefer something more Harvard style. Here you can have all these. I'll put the link as well. Use these and start your bullet point with an action verb, depending on what you did. My recommendation would be, if you've led teams or if you've had P&L, if you've run budgets, put those in the front. How many team members? What was the P&L? If you can't put the number, if it's secret, confidential, put a range. Was it a multi-million? Was it a double-digit P&L, triple-digit? Whatever it was, try to quantify it and put it here. And once you have the team and a P&L, then focus on those remaining points that you felt were powerful, but also are powerful considering the future position. And many times you hear that it is said that you have to tailor your CV to the position in question that you're applying. It is true. You can have this basic model, but also you can always return back to those post-its, so don't throw them away. you can return to those post-its, and maybe out of those 10 points, 3 or 4 fit better than the others, given the job description that is or job vacancy and what they are looking for as the key competencies. So keep that in mind as well. It is dynamic, but once you have the frame, you can easily change these bullet points here and just have it done. Good. So here, the STAR model. I led a growing team of 8 corporate banking analysts. So these are my actions. These are my tasks for Italian TMT markets. So this is the situation in a way. Delivering 12 deal assignments. So these were my tasks and results. I can't give numbers, I can't give results because they're confidential, but I can give results, which is I delivered 12 deal assignments. Another one, action verb analyzed. What did I analyze? The impact of electric car market development. So this is the situation, and I analyzed. These were my tasks, and the result was, I even mentioned it here, resulting in the bank to update its strategy approach for an increased revenue potential of 30%. I have quantifiable results. Again, STAR model, picking up the points that I can pick and that I can actually form here. You might get 3 letters of the STAR, but try to get the tasks, activities, and try to get the results there. Developed and spun off the ancillaries unit as a core revenue stream, leading to operational expense savings. So here I was increasing the upside, and here I was creating efficiency. Remember here, I increased something positive, I create sales potential, and I reduced something negative. Back again here, increased, reduced. And increased as well, both sides. Participated in senior client meetings as a technology senior expert. Normally I get this part in a CV, and people tend to forget the rest of the STAR components. Why did I participate in the meeting? Well, I was a technology sector expert. What did I do there? What was my actions? I provided deep insights for the multi-billion client negotiations across EMEA. Now the result is missing here, but it is solid enough without the result because I was an expert. I wasn't there to cut the deal. So this should give you a good understanding here. And I've done the same thing here for the consulting sector, trying to give you more examples on how you can quantify, but always the same thing. Start with the action verb, start with my post-it, match it with the job description that is available, restructured, reduced, improved, conducted, and then here a marketing example as well. Same thing. All these you can see on the Word versions. Unfortunately, Canva is I cannot share it to the masses. The template can be shared, but only in kind of one-to-one situations. But you can definitely build your own template, use these ones, or use something similar. Go creative, build your own thing. Make sure it has the 10-second rule. Make sure it's clear. It has your colors. It has your feeling. Add a second page if you need to. And once you build it, you should be proud of it. It should be part of you, your brand. You might even have the similar background picture in your LinkedIn wallpaper. And then it has to feel like you. It has to be, you need to be proud of it. You feel proud of it when you send it out there and you say, this is nice. I like it. I like this one, this layout. You might say, no, Lassie, that's not me. But that's fine. Build your own. Do your own thing. But follow the best practices. Follow the 10-second rule. Get the bullet points built in a way that they provide value. I used a test that every bullet point should stand on its own. So, for example here, analyze this. Does it stand on its own? Was I worth my money? Was it worthwhile for the best bank corporation to pay me a salary? Why was it worth to pay my salary? I created value for them. I saved costs. I earned more money. I made more money for the company than I cost in the paycheck. Always keep in mind that somebody's paying you money in order to do something which is more valuable than what they pay you. That's it. Hopefully this gives a good little starting point for you to build your own CV. Have fun. It's not boring. Start with the post-its and you will see it will get much easier after that. And then just come to this, fix your own thing, have your story, and get those jobs that you deserve. And we are done. Now you have a structure in place for your CV. And you can create modifications based on your specific needs or the positions. It's time to get out there and land those next opportunities that you've been eyeing on. And if you found this video useful, give it a like, share and subscribe for future videos to accelerate your career. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.